Hey guys, welcome back to Confessions of an Evolving Millennial. My name, did I say what? Hey guys, welcome back to Confessions of an Evolving Millennial. My name is Nancy, and on today's video we want to talk about the importance of a support system, a strong, good support system in your healing journey. I'm going to also derive this from my own personal experience and some of the lessons that I learned about that along the way. And yeah, we'll get to see that it really does take a village. Healing also takes a village. It doesn't have to be a bunch of people, but it does take a village, however small that village might be or how big that village might be. Healing does take a village. So yeah, let's dive right in. Personally, I'll start by just sharing something about me that I have had to work on, and I am still working on, is that I used to think that healing is somehow like a solo journey. I'm the kind of person who in the past, I used to be the kind of person who in the past I would go through things, like I'd go through difficult situations by myself, because I didn't want to feel like I was a burden to anyone. Because I'm just like, yeah, so now for example, if I tell you about my issues, now what are you going to do about it? Like, will it not maybe cause you stress and whatnot? So I used to really try to figure it out on my own, and then now talk about it afterwards, like after I've already overcome, after I've already gone through that wave. And I realized that I would end up spending much more time than I needed to in like a certain kind of space. And if I just talked to someone, like things would have been better. And actually, even from my own personal journey, when it came to the marriage that I did not feel was safe, and therefore I walked away from it, I actually didn't tell people that I love and people that loved me for like a whole year. I didn't tell them what I was going through. Like when there were incidences that I definitely should have told them like immediately, I did not do that, because I'm just like, okay, now I tell you, and then now what? You're so far away, you're just probably going to be stressed for nothing. I did not want to feel like a burden to people that actually do love me. But looking back, I'm just like, that was the wrong way of doing things, in my opinion, because that meant isolating myself. That meant like kind of like hiding myself. And I can tell you for a fact that it caused more harm than good. And looking back, I know that's something that I would have done differently if I had known better. And now I know that the right people can really make all the difference when it comes to your healing journey. I'm really grateful that when I decided to share with the people that love me and people that care about me about what was happening in my life, felt like crying. Yeah. When I did make the decision to share what I had been going through, I just remember really being engulfed by love and just feeling like, Yani, I would have done this sooner. And this would have been the outcome, you know? And I'm just really, really grateful. I'm really, really grateful, because I just feel like I experienced such overwhelming support from people that loved me. Like, they didn't even think twice. They didn't question me. They didn't try to maybe be like, are you sure? No, I was like, the minute I said, guys, I don't feel safe and I want to come back home, it was like, how do we make it happen? How do we make it happen? Like, I've not told them details, nothing. but I think it is also as a result of like when you're used to pouring into other people, when your time comes for people to pour back into you, it will come in overflow, especially when you've done it in the past, like just because you love people, expecting nothing in return. I personally, like all the times that I've poured into people, I've not expected anything in return, but during that season, like I saw the fruit of pouring into people, because I got such overwhelming support from people that I chose to reach out to and tell what was going on, and just be like, I need to get home, I need to be back home. And these are the people that actually made it happen, like, and I'm just really, really, really grateful for that. And just to say that it is extremely important to your healing journey to just have that kind of support system. And then fast forward, and now I'm back in Kenya, and having that support system now walk with me in my journey of healing, in my journey of just getting my footing and figuring things out and transitioning and all of that. I don't know, I don't think I knew this, but I think that's around the time that I really recognized that the people around you can really impact your healing process, even just the process itself. And I just want to share some of the lessons that I learned on the power of having a strong support system. And the first one is that healing just feels a lot lighter with safe people, with a support system. For the longest time, I used to think that, you have to carry your pain alone. It's your pain, Why you bring other people into your pain? They also have their own things. They also have their own ish that they're dealing with. But carrying pain alone makes the journey so much harder than it needs to be, especially because there are people who are so willing to be there for you, to speak those words of affirmation, to encourage you, to support you in whichever way that you might need. And just having that opportunity to express your pain. Some of this support can just be someone listening to you. They might not be able to like literally give you something, but just listening to you and giving you that space to just process whatever it is that you're going through. Being able to express your pain without any judgment, without feeling any judgment, is such a huge part of the healing process. And I would say, I'm looking back, because personally I remember, and I've mentioned it in one of the videos, that I did make the decision to share my story with just a few people, very few people. And it's because I had thought through it. It's not just a random thing. It was more of I understand that there are people who will not understand, and I don't want to have a back and forth with them. Number two, I felt like there are people that maybe if I tell them, I'll just put them in the temptation of making it gossip, and then now what good is that? Even for them, putting them in that situation was not necessary. And the other thing is, I can say for a fact that there was a voice within me, so to speak, that still small voice that I would say at the time I was very in tune to. And so I was able to tell this person, I can talk to them about it. This person, I don't need to tell them about it. And looking back, I'm like, I didn't know for a fact why I was choosing the way I was choosing, but looking back, it makes sense now. In the now, it makes sense why I made that choice the way I made it. And it's extremely important to be in, just to listen to that still small voice inside of you, that's going to give you direction on who you need to talk to and who you don't really need to talk to in detail, because it might not be beneficial or productive in any way. And I just feel like for me, every single person that I felt like I want to share this with them, it was quote unquote, I didn't know then, but it was literally the way it was meant to be. And I just give a random example of how do I put this? At the time, I didn't feel like it was a good idea to share in detail what had happened in my life to maybe someone who's like a newlywed, because now I don't know, there was just something off about it that I didn't feel like it was a good thing to do, because maybe it would scare them, and like maybe certain issues they might go through, they might think it is something similar to what I went through. I don't know if you get what I mean, but like I was really wise in how I decided, in who I decided to talk to, and who I decided to just be like, things just didn't work out, and then not go into detail. But I can say for a fact that having those safe people that I did share my story to around me really impacted my healing journey. It made it so much lighter just to talk about it sometimes, and also get to a point where you're just like, you laugh about it, then you're crying about it, then you're laughing about it, like a mix of everything. So number one, healing feels a lot lighter when you have safe people around you. The second thing that I learned is that the right people will remind you who you are. The right people will remind you who you truly are, because healing isn't just about getting past the pain. It's also about remembering who you were before it. And for me, that's what my support system did. Like, they really reinforced who I am as a person, because also going through certain traumatic situations can really make you forget who you are. Especially if maybe there's like psychological abuse involved, where like it's like someone has convinced you're someone that you're not. So I'll just give an example of like an incident that happened once, and I remember the ex-husband looking at me and just being like, everyone thinks that you're such a nice person, but I'm the only one who really knows who you are. I'm the only one who knows the real you, and just trying to insinuate that I'm not a nice person, deep down, like, and he knows that. And I'm just like, yes, that is like so far from the truth, because even my own mother, who gave birth to me and has known me my whole life, knows and even tells me that I'm a very kind and considerate person. My siblings who've known me their whole lives, like people who've been like really around me for a very long period of time, like very many years, say these things about me. So it's just like, it can't be true, because you've not even known me that long. But I dare say that these things can actually get to you. And even when you know that, no, me, I'm a very kind person, me, I'm a very considerate person, it can get to you, and you start to think that, okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe by the way, maybe I'm a mean-spirited person, which is just so far from the truth. But you can start thinking like that. And so having a strong support system, people that really know you they know you, they know your essence, they can really be able to pour into you and to remind you who you really are. And that's what my support system did for me, and they keep doing for me. And I'm so grateful for that. And now I've even become better at telling myself and just being like, I'm a kind person, I'm a considerate person, I'm a very thoughtful person. Now I'm even good at doing it myself, and like actually believing what I'm saying is true about who I am. The other thing that I learned from my own personal experience is that a good support system can also really keep you accountable. Yep. It's not just about comfort when it comes to a good support system. It's also about that encouragement to keep moving forward. And since in my personal journey there was a lot of setting boundaries and learning certain patterns that was involved, my support system also came through when it came to keeping me accountable. When they saw that I'm going back into certain old ways of thinking, or I'm starting to do things that are showing that I'm not being firm with my boundaries, you know what I mean? And I'm just really grateful for that. In fact, and it keeps happening. I'm so glad it keeps happening, because just like a few days ago I was with a friend of mine, and she was giving me some tough love and just being like, are you sure you're not like kind of like repeating some patterns and whatnot? A good support system is also meant to be able to encourage you to actually move forward. And also when they notice that like you're not in alignment to who you are, they're gonna call you out in a very loving way. Of course, I do not encourage that thing for truth being brutal. Truth does not need to be brutal. It does not need to be. You can do it in a very kind and considerate way. Yeah. The other thing that I learned in my own personal journey when it comes to having a strong support system is that a community can literally regulate your system, like your nervous system. I don't know about you guys, but have you ever been like in a really bad headspace, or like you're just going through some shit, and then you just talk to someone, your friend, someone who is safe, of course, and you just feel better. Like you feel better regulated. And that's what my support system did for me. One of the greatest dangers when it comes to healing is isolating yourself, because what happens is when you isolate yourself, you begin to spiral, and then you go into your head, and it becomes such a big mountain, and it feels like, oh my god, will this mountain ever move? You know, talking to safe people literally will regulate your nervous system. It will bring about more clarity. You'll be able to see things more clearly and see, oh, okay, maybe this and this and this is what I need to do. Because being heard and also seen by others is one of the best healing experiences. Like, it just heals you when you just feel heard and seen by someone else. Yeah, so guys, make sure you're in community. Have people around you that you know you can count on, and people that can help you move forward in your healing journey. The other thing that I learned is that you can't heal in the same place that you were hurt. You can't heal in the same environment that hurt you. I don't know if that makes sense. And that's why for me, I literally had to leave Indonesia and come back home, because I'm just like, I've experienced so much hurt in this land. There's no way I'm gonna heal in this land or around this person. And and I remember actually, because I told the ex-husband, I told him that, you know, I remember having a 3-hour conversation before I came back home about how I want to go back home, because I just feel like I want my heart to be healed. Like, there's so much that has happened, and I just want to go and heal. And he made a statement that Jesus can heal you from any location. Now, that is very true, but also it's actually very manipulative as well, in my opinion at least. But I don't like, if the people around you dismiss you or minimize or even invalidate your pain, it's almost impossible to truly start your healing when you're around them. Yes, you can kind of like prepare the foundation or whatever, but like really just going through it while you're just like deep in the mud, I don't know. And I think that's why also when I came back home and I came back to Kenya, I made the choice, and this is just a personal decision, I made the choice to also just take a break from the church and step away from the church, because I felt like there was also a lot of like spiritual abuse, and I just didn't feel safe in the church. I didn't feel safe in that environment. And so I was like, let me just take a break and figure out my relationship with God. I'm not leaving God, because me and God are one, but I don't think I can be able to heal while in this environment. And I think that's just me personally, in my own personal experience, I was right to do that. So healing requires a lot of intentionality, and choosing people who genuinely want to see you thrive is extremely important. And I'll just finish by saying that as much as healing is very personal, it's not meant to be done alone. It's not meant to be done alone. The right people won't necessarily heal you. They won't heal you, but they will hold your hand through it. And I want you to constantly affirm yourself. If you're in a situation like that, where you're still figuring out your healing journey and whatnot, that you are surrounded by love, support, and people who see you. I am surrounded by love, support, and people who see me. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. The next video is gonna be a fun video. I'll have someone over, and I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for watching. Bye.